Good morning, students. I am Shondip Nundi, Assistant Professor of Civil Engineering Department. Today I discuss another part of solid waste management. Previously we discussed about the initial steps of solid waste management, and now today we discuss about the key components of solid waste management. First is generation. Generation of solid waste is the stage at which materials become valueless to the owner, and since they have no use for them and require them no longer, they wish to get rid of them. Items which may be valueless to one individual may not necessarily be valueless to another. For example, waste items such as tins and cans may be highly sought after by young children. Next is storage. Storage is a system for keeping materials after they have been discarded and prior to collection and final disposal, where on-site disposal systems are implemented, such as where people discarded items directly into family pits. Storage may not be necessary. In emergency situations, especially in the early stages, it is likely that the affected population will discard domestic waste in poorly defined heaps close to dwelling areas. If this is the case, improved disposal or storage facilities should be provided fairly quickly, and these should be located where people are able to use them easily. Improved storage facilities includes, that is, some containers, household containers, plastic bins, etc. Large containers, that is communal bins and oil drums, and communal depots, that is well and or fenced in area, etc. Next is collection. Collection simply refers to how waste is collected for transportation to the final disposal site. Any collection system should be carefully planned to ensure that storage facilities did not become overloaded. Collection intervals and volumes of collected waste must be estimated carefully. Next is transportation. This is the stage when solid waste is transported to the final disposal site. There are various methods of transport which may be adopted, and the chosen method depends upon local availability and the volume of waste to be transported. Types of transportation can be divided into three categories, that is human powered, one handcart with beans, wheel cycle, tricycle, etc. And animal powered, that is donkey drawn cart. And next part is disposal. The final stage of solid waste management is safe disposal, where associated risks are minimized. There are four main methods for the disposal of solid waste, that is land application, Second is composting. Third is burning. And final is recycling. The most common of these is land application. Next is on-site disposal. What is on-site disposal? The technology choices outlined below are general guidelines for disposal and storage of waste on site. These may be adapted for the particular site and situation in question. First is common pit disposal. Perhaps the simplest solid waste management system is where consumers dispose of waste directly into a communal pit. The size of this pit will depends on the number of people it serves. The long-term recommended objective is 6 cubic meter per 50 people. The pits should be fenced off to prevent small children falling in and should generally not be more than 100 meter from the dwelling to be served. The advantages of communal pit disposal is it is rapid to implement and requires little operation and maintenance. Next is family pit disposal. What is the family pit disposal? Family pit may provide a better long-term options where there is adequate space. This should be family shallow and families should be encouraged to regularly cover waste with solid from sweeping or ash from fires used for cooking. This method is best suited where families have large plots and where organic food waste are in the main component of domestic refuse. The advantage is families are responsible for managing their own waste, no external waste worker are required, and commonly mobilization can be incorporated into hygiene promotion program. The main disadvantage is if it is not utilized such a proper way, that is cause the very bad diseases and harmful diseases. Next is communal bin. Communal bins or containers are designed to collect waste where it will not be dispersed by wind or animals and where it can easily be removed for transportation and disposal. Plastic containers are generally inappropriate since these may be blown over by the wind, can easily be removed and may be desirable for alternative uses. A people solution is to provide oil drums cut in this figure. The bases of this should be should be opened to allow liquid to pass out and to prevent their use for other purposes. A lid and handles can be provided if necessary. In general, a single 100-liter bin should be provided for every 50 people in domestic areas, every 100 people at feeding centers, and every 10 market stall. In general, bins should be emptied daily. The advantages is bins are potentially a highly hygienic and sanitary management method, and final disposal of waste well away from dwelling areas. And the disadvantage is each and every day it should be monitored. Next is family bins. Family bins are rarely used in emergency situations since they require an intensive collection and transportation system, and the number of containers or bins required is likely to be huge. In the later stages of an emergency, however, community members can be encouraged to make their own refuse baskets or pots and to take responsibility to empty these at communal pits or depots. And the main advantages is families are responsible for maintaining collection containers and potentially a highly sanitary management method. And the main disadvantage is if it is not regularly monitored, there are harmful effect. uh, Next is communal disposal without bins. For some public institutions such as markets or distribution centers, solid waste management system without bins can be implemented, whereby users dispose of waste directly onto the ground. This can only work if clearances and employed to regularly sweep around market stalls. Greater waste together and transport it to a to a proper off-site disposal site. This is likely to be appropriate for vegetable waste, but waste should be disposed of in liquid tight contents and buried separately. The main advantages is system rapid to implement. There is minimal reliance on actions of users, and it may be in line with traditional and usual practice. And the disadvantage is required efficient and effective management, and full-time waste worker must be employed. Okay, student, thank you. In the next day we discuss about the transportation options, that is human powered, animal powered, and etc. And that is the last part of this solid waste management system. And we also discuss about the composting and recycling, etc. So thank you today.